Thanks to all the people that put content out there on RGBA. Ellie from Ellie Setback, Rainbow at Tees by Rainbow, Chef Frank at Frantic_1, and the official photographer for Team RGBA Cumbia, and all the fighters, trainers, and managers and family that create posts on Instagram to bring us all the latest news and updates. Mikey Garcia, 39-1, 30 knockouts. His last fight was March 16th. He lost a decision to Errol Spence. It was his first pay-per-view event at the AT&T in Dallas. There was 47,500 fans at the gate, and then it's estimated that there was 360 pay-per-views sold on Fox. So if you want to follow Mikey, he's at Team Mikey Garcia on Instagram, Mikey Garcia on Twitter as well. Abner Mares, 31-3-1. We have no official update. If you want to follow him, he's at Abner Mares Official. But he did put this up on Instagram. He's recovering from eye surgery, and he wrote, "I'm back in the gym." So good news for him. He suffered a detached retina, which caused him to pull out of the fight against Tank about a week and a half before fight date in February. So that's good news for Abner Mares. Josecito Lopez, 36-8, had a fight versus Keith One-Time Thurman in January. Was a punch or two away from putting Keith One-Time Thurman down in the 7th round, I believe. And his Josecito's trainer, Eduardo the Big G Garcia, says he wants nothing but big fights for Josecito. His official record is 36-8. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Jose Lopez. The WBC champion at 140, Jose Carlos Ramirez, promoted by Top Rank. He's managed by Rick Merizian. If you want to follow all the updates on him, you can follow his promoter. His IG is at Promoter559. He is an Olympian, and if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at JC Ramirez 2012. 2012 for the year that he was in the Olympics. So he's an undefeated fighter, fights for Top Rank, 24-0, 16 knockouts. He's from Northern California. So he should be able to take advantage of the new Central Valley RGBA ran by the family of Evan Sanchez and Al Perez. They're in the Fresno area instead of having to come all the way down Riverside. So Jose Carlos Ramirez, 24-0. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1. He's unofficially retired. His last fight was in February in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He suffered a 12-round loss to Humberto La Zorrita Soto. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1. If you want to follow him, he's at Brandon Rios 1. Esquiva Falcao, 23-0 with 15 knockouts. Just got a WBA championship title fight. He won. He fought in Brazil. That was on March 31st. His opponent was Jorge Daniel Miranda, 56-17-0. He's an Argentinian fighter. Robert said it wasn't his best performance, but he did what had to do to get the win. And his Instagram is Esquiva Falcao, at Esquiva Falcao, if you want to follow him. He's a top-ranked fighter. He's not managed by Robert Garcia, but he does train with him. Eric De Leon improves to 19-0 with 1 draw, 10 knockouts. He's from Detroit, Michigan, and he was dropped in the 5th round, but he did stop his opponent in the 7th. So that was March 23rd at the hangar in Orange County. Eric tweeted out that he's been fighting at 130 for 10 years now. So that's a credit to his dedication and his discipline to his craft. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Team De Leon 1. Joshua El Profesor Franco, 14-1-1 from San Antonio. He is scheduled to fight Thursday, April 25th. He's going to get that rematch versus Oscar Negrete. They fought at the hangar in Costa Mesa in 2018. And if you want to follow El Profesor Franco, he's at 1 Professor Franco. That's double S. So at 1 Professor Franco. And here's the Golden Boy and the Zone flyer that they're putting out. Thursday night fights at Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio. Co-main event rematch. $25 tickets. Doors open at 4:30. First fight at 4:45. Hector Tanajara was on that card with Alexis Espino and Brandon Bam Bam Rios in Tijuana, Baja California. He suffered a cut from a headbutt over his eyebrow, so the action was stopped in the fourth round. So he is the new WBC youth champion for the WBC. His opponent was Ivan Striker Delgado, who was 13-1-2. So if you want to follow Hector on Instagram, it's at Hector_Tanahara, and I believe his dad is just the reverse, at Tanahara_Hector. So RGBA San Antonio. Jonathan Thunder Navarro from East LA. We have not heard anything from him recently. He's 16-0 with 8 knockouts. If you want to follow him, he's at Jonathan Navarro_16. Carlos Licona has been active in the gym. We've been seeing him on ES News. He lost his 2 titles in February against DJ Creel. So his record is 14-1 with 2 knockouts. So sounds like he was dropped twice in the 12th, and either the ref stopped it or he was knocked down. There might have been a third knockdown rule. But if you want to follow him, he's at Mexicanito12. Virgil Ortiz Jr., 12-0, 12 knockouts. He's been very active in the gym. He's been in camp, he said yesterday on ES News, for roughly 2 months. He's already gone 12 rounds in sparring. He is on the Canelo undercard in Las Vegas. Canelo will be fighting Daniel Jacobs. So very excited to see Virgil. The rumor out there on Twitter and on Instagram is that he's going to be fighting Mauricio Herrera. So that'll be a good challenge for him. Mauricio is tough as nails. He had a tough fight with Danny Garcia in Puerto Rico, and he just fought somebody very recently as well. So if you want to follow Virgil Ortiz, at Virgil Ortiz on Instagram. He is from Grand Prairie, Texas, the Dallas area. At Virgil Ortiz if you want to follow him. Joseph Adorno, 12-0 with 10 knockouts, just fought March 17th. He got a 6-round unanimous decision over his opponent, Victor Rosas. If you want to follow him, he's at Real Joseph Adorno on Instagram. He is a top-ranked fighter, and I believe he has his entire professional career with Robert. So fights that Robert has not been able to be in his corner, Pita has been in his corner. And he did have one fight last year where I think neither Pita or Robert were able to be in his corner in Puerto Rico. So, but the majority of his fights, RGBA is in his corner. John El Terrible Bauza just joined very recently in 2018, joined Team RGBA Riverside. He fought the same day as Joseph Adorno. He got a 6-round unanimous decision over Angel Sarinana. He fights, I believe, at 140. Chef Frank was doing a lot of the meals for him in preparation for this fight. He's 12-0, 5 knockouts. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Real John Bauza. And then Josue, the Prodigy Vargas, is not officially a RGBA fighter, but he has done 3 camps. I believe he resides in Riverside and in New York. So he when he's in New York, he trains and spars a lot of RGBA fighters there in Riverside. So he had Robert in his corner for his fight. Robert was already there for 2 of his other fighters, John Bauza and Joseph Adorno. So Robert will do that if somebody that will ask him for a favor and ask him to be in his corner, or sometimes they ask Robert to watch the opposing team wrap their hands. If Robert has the time, then he'll go ahead and do favors like that. He's like that. He's known to do a lot of stuff like that. So if you want to follow the Prodigy Vargas, he's at Real Josue Vargas on Instagram. He used to be with Mayweather Promotions, and now he is with Top Rank. Louis Coria, 11-2. Fought on the undercard of Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. He got a 2nd-round knockout over Omar Garcia. He's scheduled to fight on May 18th on Prospects Collide 2.0. That's not an official title. I created that title, Prospects Collide. The first event was January 18th. So I have not seen an official flyer for Prospects Collide. I just nicknamed it that, Prospects Collide 2.0, for the May 18th event for Garcia Promotions, their 3rd event this year. If you want to follow him, he's at King Louis 416. He's a local Riverside fighter. Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero improves to 10-0, 9 knockouts. He was the headliner on the March 15th event there in Grand Prairie, Texas. This event was promoted by Garcia Promotions. It was the night before Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia. The Alejandro brothers were also on that card. So he got a fourth round knockout. I think the ref stopped the fight. If you want to follow him, he is at porkchop_214. Alejandro Guerrero, 10-0. He's from Grand Prairie, Texas. Misael Chino Rodriguez, 9-0, 4 knockouts, has a fight date of May 18th. He will be the main event for Prospects Collide 2.0. He fights at 160. There were rumors of him fighting at 154 or even possibly 147. He came back from Exalton in great shape. So there was possibilities of him coming down, but he did put on some weight, and it looks like Frank Silva is helping him get down to 160. So Misael Chino Rodriguez, he is an Olympian from El Parral, Chihuahua, I believe. 9-0, 4 knockouts. He's promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. If you want to follow him, he's at Misael Ote. Misael Otee. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 9-0, 5 knockouts. He was also on the Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence undercard. He got a third round knockout versus a veteran fighter, Rauf Agayav. I can't pronounce that. But if you want to follow Bam, he is at 210 Bam. He is the younger brother to Joshua Franco. He's a left-handed fighter. He's promoted by Tekken Promotions, Mr. Honda's Tekken Promotions, representing RGBA San Antonio. Lindolfo Delgado actually got a televised spot on the Fox pay-per-view. He had a first-round knockout over his opponent. He was scheduled to go 8, but I believe he came on right before Benavidez. He might have come on right before Benavidez knocked out J. Leon Love. So his opponent was 5-1, James Roach. And if you want to follow him, he's at Lindolfo Delgado on Instagram. He's also an Olympian, also promoted by Ringstar Sports. Genaro El Conde Gamez, 8-0, 5 knockouts. He had a fight date that he had to cancel in February, but it sounds like the move to 140 is coming for him. He's a local fighter from San Diego. He trains in San Diego. He is a Golden Boy Promotions fighter. If you want to follow him, he's at Genaro Gamez on Instagram. But Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, 8-0, 7 knockouts. He was, I believe he's born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He fights under the banner of Mikey Garcia. His last win was on the Josecito Lopez versus Keith One-Time Thurman card at the Barclays in New York. So he improved to 8-0 with 7 knockouts. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Team Bulletproof. I believe he fights at 175. Manuel Flores is not officially part of Team RGBA, but he does a lot of sparring with the guys here in Riverside. Here you see a picture with him with Abner Mares, as Abner Mares was preparing to fight a southpaw in Tank Davis. So he's got a 7-0 record with 5 knockouts. I believe he's from Coachella, and I believe he's managed by Robert's friend Cameron Duncan. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Gucci Manny. Isidro Ochoa has been seen in the gym on ES News very recently. So although he doesn't have an official fight date, he is staying active in the gym. His last win was on February 10th on the undercard of Jose Carlos Ramirez versus Chon Cepeda. So he got a 5th round knockout over Jesus Arturo Guzman from Tijuana, Mexico. And his new fight date, oh, there it is. He does have a new fight date. May 4th on Top Rank in the Stockton card with Gabe Flores. So he's currently in the gym in Riverside training. If you want to follow him, he goes back. Ego_Ochoa on Instagram. At Ego_Ochoa. He's from Northern California. He's promoted by Top Rank. Aaron Morales, he's a free agent. He's 6-0, 3 knockouts. He's been on PBC cards. He's been on Top Rank cards. He got a unanimous 6-round decision over Fernando Robles on the Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Fox pay-per-view event. If you want to follow him, he's at Aaron_Morales. That's Morales with 3 S's. At Aaron_Morales. Ray Danger Murataya, he is scheduled to fight on the 20th of April this month. He is fighting Eduardo Reyes. and he was on the undercard for Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. He's also scheduled to be fighting May 18th. So depending on how he does on his April date, we'll see if he can be approved by the California State Athletic Commission to fight a couple weeks or 3 weeks later. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Ray_Murataya1. He's from Fontana, California, so a local fighter for RGBA at Riverside. Brian Lua, 5-0, 2 knockouts. We have no update on him. He is a fighter. I believe he fights at 135. He is a top-ranked promoted fighter. He's also from up north, so he should be able to take advantage of that Central Valley RGBA gym as well, not having to come all the way down to Riverside. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Brian_Lua, L-U-A, Lua. Ruben Rodriguez just fought March 9th on the Porter Ugas undercard, and he's scheduled to fight on the Loma card at Staples Center in LA this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this Friday, and he's also scheduled to fight May 18th. So depending on how he does this Friday, we'll see if he's scheduled to if the California State Athletic Commission approves him to fight in San Bernardino on the Garcia Promotions event. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he is at RubenNR_. He is from the Coachella Valley. I believe he fights at 140. Brandon B-Fly Macias, 3-0-1. He has one draw. He suffered a draw in January. He has 2 knockouts. He's scheduled to be the co-main event along with Misael on the Garcia Promotions event in San Bernardino. He was originally going to get that rematch versus Giovanni Noriega, but it sounds like Giovanni might have suffered a loss March 16th in Hollywood versus his opponent there in Florentine Gardens. So they might be looking for a new opponent for B-Fly Macias. If you want to follow him, he's at B_FLY301. He's from Goodyear, Arizona, in the Phoenix area. Robert Biggie Rodriguez was off for almost 10 months. He is 3-0. I believe he fights at 118, if I'm not mistaken. No, he might be even less at that. I think him and B-Fly might be fighting at 112, if I'm not mistaken. So he fought on the undercard of Mikey and Errol, and he got a 4-round unanimous decision. If you want to follow him, he's at BiggieJR_, at Biggie Jr. _. He is also representing RGBA San Antonio. Isaac Colunga, 3-0, 2 knockouts. There's great news from his mom, Carrie Colunga, saying on April 8th, yesterday, Monday, Isaac will be moved to Denver, Colorado to a rehabilitation center to receive medical care specifically dedicated for spinal injuries. I actually posted what his mom said, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. To all our family and friends, on behalf of Isaac, we would like to thank you from the bottom of our heart for all your wonderful support and most of all your prayers. Please continue to uplift Isaac every day as we begin our journey in his recovery process. Isaac will be leaving on Monday to Denver, Colorado, to one of the best rehab facilities in the country in which they specialize in spinal cord injuries. Isaac is excited to start this process and return to California with a powerful testimony of how our mighty Father Jesus has healed his body from head to toe. He will continue to update everyone as we go along. Again, thank you all. We love you. Team Colunga, Isaac Strong. So if you want to follow him on Instagram or Carrie, at Carrie Colunga or at team_Colunga. Manny Rodriguez is an amateur fighter. There you see him on the top right, and he is an amateur fighter. He gives a lot of RGBA fighters good sparring, and he has the nickname of Big Baby. He's the little brother to Ruben Rodriguez. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Manny TRE, Manny Rodriguez. Alexis El Macizo Espino, I believe, I don't have all the details, but he might be fighting on the Canelo undercard as well, as it's going to be promoted on the Zone. He is the only fighter from RGBA, technically with Matchroom. I guess Brandon Bam Bam Rios might have one more fight with them, but we don't know. He hasn't officially retired. But other than Bam, he is the only Matchroom boxing fighter. So it makes sense that he's on the Zone card with Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs, but I'm not 100% sure. But he is in the gym training. So he's 1-0. He got that win by knockout. I believe it was the second round when he knocked down his opponent and the ref stopped the fight in Tijuana, Baja California. So if you want to follow him, he's from Las Vegas. His Instagram is @_Alexis Espino 1. There you see him in a picture with David Benavides, and I guess they were sparring there in Riverside. Evan Sanchez in the white T-shirt in the middle is a welterweight. He's 3-0 with 2 knockouts. It sounds like his family, along with Al Perez, will be running the Central Valley RGBA gym. And if you want to follow him, he's @Real Evan Sanchez. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno, the little brother to Blessed Hands Joseph Adorno, is 1-0. He had his pro debut on 330. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's Magic Hands _Jeremy. Anthony the Real Too Pretty Chavez fought on Prospects Collide in January, but he's no longer on BoxRec for the event in May. But if you want to follow him, he's a local fighter from San Bernardino, @The Real Too Pretty. Wesley Diana, 7-0, 6 knockouts. He's trained by world middleweight champion Fernando El Ferros Vargas. I keep an eye on him. If you want to follow him, he's @Wesley_Diana. Jose Chema Delgado, 2-0 with 3 draws. He fought in February in Culiacan, Sinaloa, and he's going to fight again very soon as well. I think in Culiacan again. So if you want to follow him, he's @E1_Chema. He used to train with Robert and everybody in Riverside. There you see him in a picture with Josh Franco, El Profesor. But I think he's on his. I think he's parted ways, but I still consider him Team RGBA. So if you want to follow him, he's @E1_Chema, double A at the end. So added to Prospects Collide 2.0 on May 18th in San Bernardino is undefeated 16-0 Jose Enrique Durantes Vivas from Texcoco, Mexico. The RGBA fighters that are scheduled to fight on that card are Misael El Chino Rodriguez, Louis Coria, Brennan B-Fly Macias, Ray Murataya, and very recently added Lina Cookie Licona. That's Carlos Lincona's sister. And then also okay, so as of March 31st, the team's record was 23-4-1. They're on schedule for 100 wins in 2019. Added to the gym was Carlos Caballo Bronco Adames. He fights on April 20th on the Crawford versus Amir Khan card. And I believe it's in New York. So he fights at 154. He's a top-ranked fighter. I believe he was brought in originally to give sparring to Mikey Garcia in preparation for Errol Spence. So there you see him, Carlos Caballo Bronco. Photo credit to the official photographer of our Team RGBA is @Cumbia_, and all the Instagram pages of the fighters, trainers, and managers who post updated pictures on their IG to allow us to keep updated on Team RGBA. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'm Sonteo Media on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram @Sonteo_Media and Sonteo_Media. Hope you liked it, and more videos coming soon.